We all want the SEC to break away from the NCAA. We don't need the rest of the college football world, all those other universities. All SEC all day. We're going to talk about it right on this show. Last Call with Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. This is the next round. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing golf courses right there at Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. It's the Augusta that you can play. You don't need a membership to play there. All right, let's get this show started. All right, there he is, Mr. Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. Good to talk to you guys. All right, look, I was joking a little bit in the open saying that I want the SEC to break away, but that's a lot of the talk right now. I feel like if the SEC is serious about breaking away, it wouldn't be the footprint that it is now, that they would probably go and get Florida State and Clemson and Miami and schools from some of these schools like Oklahoma State that don't have a conference. I mean, if they're serious. Now, most people think that it's all just bluster as far as positioning and debate.
I mean, I think at some point it's going to happen, right? I mean, the upper echelon of college football with the playoff squabbles, you know, the College Sports Commission issues, you know, everybody's, me included, I'm tired of seeing some of these playoff games, especially in the initial round, just being total blowouts because the NCAA, you know, wants to include everybody. You know, at some point, with all this change, the way NIL is going, you're going to have movement, and now at this point, guys these programs are just looking to make the most money possible. That's the name of the game now. I mean, they played along those lines. They had the NCAA running it. You know, I mean, it's like the mafia, and they were able to keep control long enough. But, you know, it's going to be an ever evolving thing until we get some form of governance that isn't the NCAA. And you're going to have to separate these programs by you know, really financial strength, because the better schools, the better conferences are going to keep pulling away, and the little guys are just going to get, you know, further and further towards the bottom.
I think that a big part of this is also value, right? Like the value of what the SEC championship means compared to the value of what the other conference championships, including the national championship, mean. I mean, because you're talking about, what did they say, like $88 million a year to play that game. As far as like what it means to the schools, it doesn't mean as much anymore because, you know, you're about to play in this long football tournament. It wasn't good for Alabama to play that game last year. They got their butts whooped, but they also got beat up, and then they had to play like a week later. You know, so there was no advantage at all for Alabama being the number one team, even had they won the game.
Well, it doesn't
gotten some time off, but you know,
it doesn't mean much now because you're competing with so many other conferences that don't have the same worth. To be honest with you, I mean, you're competing against. I mean, I don't even know who was in the conference championships and other conferences, you know, outside of the Big Ten last year. You know, Indiana, Ohio State. You know, the Big Ten and the SEC conference championships are the only two that really carry any weight. And you know, the problem is that they're, you know, they are penalizing schools that play in their conference championships, and they act like losing in the Big Ten and the SEC championships, you know, have the same equivalence as losing in, you know, the ACC championship or another conference championship.
Right.
You know, I think, you know, SMU in the ACC championship 2 years ago, that should have kicked them out. They had no place in the playoff after losing in that ACC championship a few years ago. And that to me kind of changed my whole perspective on it because, I mean, you look top to bottom, ACC versus other conferences. ACC's, I mean, I think I'm being gracious if I say middle of the pack. I mean, Miami last year, maybe the most. I mean, right there is they're probably more talented than Indiana, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But who else in that conference last year was any good? I mean, you had who was even in that conference championship? Because I remember it being kind of crazy. Was it Duke and Virginia?
Yeah, it was Duke and Virginia.
I mean, what are we doing here? You know,
Yeah.
That's what weight did that carry? Honestly, I mean, I guess it kept Virginia out of the playoff, right? Was Virginia on the verge, which is insane that I mean,
yeah,
insane that they were even close. I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind. And of course, it doesn't help my argument. People that are ACC homers are going to say, Florida State beat Alabama and Alabama was in the SEC championship. But, again, if you watch this show, you know that my argument for the SEC is that it's week in, week out. The talent week in, week out, the physicality week in, week out is what separates. The atmospheres week in, week out is what changes, the whole dynamic of the situation within this conference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at it like if they're serious about breaking away, and that there's obviously two powers right now, the Big Ten and the SEC. And the Big Ten and Mick Gillispie want to have 24-team playoff. The SEC wants to have 16. The SEC, the problem with the SEC to me is that it's now run and dictated by ESPN. And ESPN doesn't want to have 24 games because they won't have access to all those games. And that shouldn't be why we decide that we're going to pick a format for college football playoffs, because one of the TV networks, which to me is, besides their live game action, they stink. Decides they don't want it because it's going to be more competition for them. They want to get rid of these. They want the cupcake games out. Look, as a season ticket holder in the past, I'm all about that, right? Like, you should want those out because you're paying the same amount of money for that game or pretty close to it as the games that count. You added a 9th conference game, right? And then you've got to play in this ridiculous championship game that really shouldn't be something that you have to do, but you have to. And then you get kicked out of the playoff because some team played a bunch of cupcakes every week instead of one Saturday, and they went undefeated or lost one game. To me, that have those extra games is the cushion to play a tough schedule, right? To have those extra teams into the playoff, you've already diluted the regular season to the point now where it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like when you took it from 4 to 12, regular season, you can lose and make it. You can lose twice and make it. You can lose 3 times and make it. You add the 24 teams, you can probably lose 4 times and make it, depending on the way that things go. But that's what you decided to do because ESPN wanted those extra playoff games, right? So
yeah,
I think what it's like. What are we doing? I hear Paul Feinbaum. He's like, oh, this is the worst thing could happen in college. Come on, man. The worst thing already happened. You took it from 4 to 12, and now now the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, I think if you take it to 24, then SEC and Big Ten need to break away. To be honest with you, and the reasoning for that is so that they get to put together, they'll figure out, how to put these conferences together. They will include, like you said, I would think Clemson, Florida State, Miami, they got to make a decision. They're not going to sit outside of that. USC, the interesting one would be Notre Dame. They can't sit there on the sideline anymore, pick and choose who they want to play, screw over the ACC with, picking, kind of having an affiliation, but not really all the way in. Notre Dame's got to pick a side then, and Notre Dame's not going to sit outside of that. I'd much rather see those top matchups. Yeah, the cupcake week, as everybody says before rivalry week. I mean, I feel like the last few years there's been some weekends where there's not been top 10 matchups.
I know.
And that just absolutely kills your weekend. I don't know. I hate it. I hate
Selfishly, man.
it.
Yeah, we don't want you cupcake. The reason we want cupcake weekend gone is because you're killing our fun.
Yeah. It's a horrible product.
Right.
What are we doing?
LSU Arkansas is the highlight of the weekend. And then they put all the good games at the same exact time, like the same day.
Oh yeah. It's all 2:30. Every one of them are at 2:30.
Yeah.
I wish the big games were all at 6:00. I wish they had all. I wish it was always like that.
Yeah.
2:30 is not my favorite time slot.
No, because your whole day. Well, for us, I mean, think about it. Like we got to watch the game, and then I've been doing post game shows forever. I hate that. But at least at 2. Well, if you do it at night, though, it's like I'm up all night. Now, I don't know if I'm doing it this year, but.
Well, yeah, 8:00's too late, but 6 is kind of perfect. It's over at 10, ready to go to bed. Time slot's another issue. Put me on the board. I'll figure this thing out.
Well, then we need you on the board. We desperately need you on the board. It's just it's so funny to me that all right, let me say this. The SEC is not breaking away from the rest of college football. Now, if it was them and I don't know, the rest of the big conferences maybe, but it's not going to be, okay, we're going to watch, Alabama play against the SEC and that's it. I just can't imagine that. Now, what if they did like this? What if they had a playoff in the SEC and then the winner played the champion of the other conferences?
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome, but it would be, the problem with that is that the top 3 in the SEC can make a run.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that, for the Big Ten as well. That's why I think that a minimum amount of teams need to be set aside for the Big Ten and the SEC, and then the champions of the other conferences get to join as well. But I mean, in a perfect world, to me, I think you have slots already made up: 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, and then maybe 2 from other conferences. I mean, that's the only fair way for me, and honestly, the ones outside of the Power 5 are I mean, you kind of shit out of luck unless you place one hell of an out of conference schedule.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the problem.
And Notre Dame should be forced to join a conference, or they're just left out.
Yeah.
I realize they're a moneymaker.
Yeah, but I mean, if we backed out of the SEC, we could be the same exact thing. Look, I know everybody loves the some of the rivalries in the conference, but are you going to miss the Bama, Kentucky, Bama, South Carolina, Bama, Vanderbilt? I mean, Bama, Arkansas game. Do you think that there's any other teams in the SEC that bring more to the table than Alabama? I mean, maybe Texas, but I don't think so. I've said this before, and I believe it. Like, if Notre Dame can be an independent and they automatically get in if they're in the top 12, why aren't we an independent? And we'll do the same thing. And then we'll go play that same soft, weak-ass schedule that they play. We'll mix in 2 good games and then play Navy and Boston College and the rest of these scrubs that they go Wake Forest, and then we'll see what happens, right?
I mean, Notre Dame plays this year Wisconsin first, then Rice, Michigan State.
Is that chicken fried rice?
Yeah, it's an appetizer.
Yeah, right.
Michigan State, Purdue, UNC, Stanford, BYU, Navy, Miami. I give them Miami.
I go back to the beginning.
All right.
First one.
Wisconsin.
We'd be favored. We beat the crap out of them the last 2 years. Next.
Rice. Skip over that one.
Right. Yeah.
Michigan State. Skip over that one.
That'd be big favorite against them.
Purdue. No.
Big favorite against them.
UNC.
Big favorite against them.
Stanford.
Big favorite against them.
BYU.
I mean, they'd give you a good game. We'd beat them by 10.
Yeah, I was about to say that's about, yeah. Navy.
I mean, come on.
Miami.
Good game.
Yeah, Miami's that'd be a pick 'em going into this year. Miami, had we met Miami in the playoff, that'd have been ugly. I say ugly. Probably, I think they're a 17-point favorite against us in the playoff last year.
What?
Yeah,
man.
I mean, we had fallen apart. We were.
They might have beat us by 17, but they wouldn't have been a 17-point favorite.
They probably would have been. I bet they would. Let me ask a coworker. Hey, Wilson, you here? Yeah. Hey, what would Miami be favored against Alabama last year if they played in the playoff?
Wilson.
So, yeah. What would Miami be favored over Alabama if they played us in the playoff last year? Oh, all right.
Thank you. And I'll go with the Wilson line. I agree with Wilson. The Wilson line works for me. It would have been around 3, I think. But I got what you're saying. We might have lost by 17 because they were way more physical. They were way more physical than us. But anyway, whatever. What's the next game after that?
Boston College.
Yeah, blowout. And then what?
SMU.
I mean, look, we might lose one game.
SMU then Syracuse. So yeah.
And we lose one game. We're 11-1. And everybody's going, oh, look at Alabama, because we're not playing the gauntlet. We don't have to go to LSU. We don't have to play Auburn. We don't have to play Georgia. We don't you know what I'm saying? Like the Oklahomas and stuff, teams that can beat you. There's no teams that can beat you on that schedule except Miami.
No, I mean, that's a standard Notre Dame team should go 11-1 against that schedule.
Yep.
I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking. These atmospheres aren't. I mean, you're not. There'll be. I saw Notre Dame. My brother played at the Air Force Academy, and Notre Dame came back when Brady Quinn and Jeff Samardzija were playing for Notre Dame.
Oh, my man, the Shark.
And there was as many Notre Dame fans in there as Air Force fans. I mean, Notre Dame fans are everywhere. Half of these stadiums will be as much Notre Dame as home fans. I mean, because the following for a lot of these schools just aren't very intense.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to when I was playing, you play at the you could even lower tier SEC schools. It's packed. I mean, there's excitement. There's an attitude. The players play with a lot of intensity. Said it for years. The most physical game we played, one of the most physical games that I remember playing was against Arkansas. I mean, there's just a different mentality, a different level of intensity and physicality. I mean, you just look at the schedule, and football is just kind of a cool event to go for the first quarter at some of these schools.
Oh yeah, right. We can both agree on that. We can both agree on this right here, that if you guys are in right now the market to get anything done at your house, including your roofing, you need to get up with Patriot Roofing and Builders. These guys are awesome, man. They're Bama fans. But if you're an Auburn fan, hey, maybe they like Auburn too. I don't know. But what I will tell you is this, is that they got you covered. When you call Will or Justin, they're going to answer. Free inspections. Patriot Roofing and Building has everything you need. They're unlimited home builders. They got the license for all that stuff. Total home solution guys. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and full home renovations. Again, 205-919-4494. And that is Patriot. Appreciate those guys. There you go. All right. Well, it's been a jam-packed episode so far.
I'm trying.
You're going to get some hate mail over that 17-point underdog.
I mean, that's not a. To me, that's not a shot. It's more of a. Hey, did you see us play the last two games? How beat up we were.
Yeah, I got you.
The team that Alabama was in the first 6 games of the year, excluding Florida State, was totally different from the last 6 weeks of the year. And I spent a lot. I mean, I say I spent a lot of time. Spent some time with Ty, when he was prepping for the draft, and just talking about some of the injuries, he had. I mean, the guy was beat to hell and back. And that's a symptom of playing an SEC schedule. It just is what it is. But
right.
I mean, I think if you've got a fully healthy Alabama team in that playoff, then it's a completely different ballgame. And I do think that the score ends up being pretty close. But I mean, by the end of the year, I mean, the injuries were so severe that I mean, the method of coaching was different. I mean, you had to coach that team different than you did, week 1 through 6. So, I mean, yeah, I'll clarify that by saying what I'm saying now. That team had the potential while being healthy to really make a run. But, and I watched the SEC championship, then our run in the playoff. It just we didn't look like the same team. And from what I've heard, I mean, a lot of that was some really serious injuries and lack of depth, even because of injuries to 2 and 3 guys.
Right.
Guys on the 2s and 3s. So, I mean, that's what I meant by that. I didn't mean that.
No, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Well, look, let me say this. Our guy Keith is running the place, and the place is awesome. And I'm talking about the one and only hotel of the year in Maryland. And we want you guys to hit that QR code right there. And I'm talking about Residence Inn by Marriott Ocean City. Place is awesome. QR code. Go vote for those guys to maintain their dominance. They're like Nick Saban Alabama teams. They're just they're in the finals and winning championships for the best coastal hotel of the year. So make sure you guys get a part of that. They are helping host the White Marlin Open. That's coming up in August. That's going to be a great event. We've talked about that. One of the huge playoffs of fishing, professional fishing. We do some of that stuff in Gulf Shores, and then they do it there. But right there on the water, here's the hotel. It's great. Sunsets are awesome. Boardwalk, Secrets Bar, all that stuff. Great seafood and just a wonderful place to relax, recharge your batteries. That's Ocean City, Maryland, Residence Inn by Marriott in Ocean City. All right, man. Well, I guess the last thing is in a kind of just a quick hit, but they're getting rid of Cupcake Saturday. What do you replace it with? Is the Cupcake Saturday replacement the fact that you added a 9th conference game?
I mean, that's got to be it, right? I mean, I guess you just mix in what I guess we got Florida State this year, so I guess you just mix in 2 cupcakes somewhere else. I mean, that is the worst college football Saturday of the entire year. So glad to be done with that. I enjoyed the COVID year when it was, I mean, outside of the empty stadium, but an all SEC schedule. I enjoyed the hell out of that. I mean, and maybe that's not a bad idea, having a 9-game SEC schedule and maybe one good out of conference game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to expand the playoff, just have a 10 game regular season, 9 conference games, one really good out of conference game, and move on. Especially if you're keeping the conference championships,
right?
But maybe one thing you add in there if you're the SEC or Big Ten is, hey, the two participants in this game are in.
Yep. Very interesting. Well, look, brother, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. We talk about it all the time. The amazing slots, the table games. It's Vegas when you don't have to go all the way out there. It's an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. I say that all the time. A lot of you guys go and you have a great time. Some of you guys come from further to go, and because we talk about it here a lot on the show. But the golf course is just brilliant. It's championship level, best in Mississippi, and it's in Augusta that you can play. You don't have to have a membership, but swing over there. The Azaleas, the Oaks, 2 amazing golf courses. We'll go play golf and then go get our steak afterwards at Philip M. Steakhouse, play the games. The Timeout Sports Lounge is open. That's a Vegas-style sports book. And even this time of the year, you can go and place bets on a lot of the games going on. So check that out. Finally, and I meant to mention this the other day, I know it was a heartbreaking loss for Alabama softball. They had a team that could have won the World Series, and they ended up 3rd, 4th, or however you want to look at it. But they blew it. They lost to the 11 seed Texas Tech in 2 really tough games. But congratulations to them. And the only reason I say they blew it is that they know they had the team to win and win it all, and they didn't. But at the same time, there's so much to celebrate there. Coach Murphy, 16 trips to the World Series, and so much excitement from the fan base. And then baseball's hosting a super regional against St. John's. I hope they win this. They haven't been to the World Series since Jim Wells. Yeah,
fired up about it.
The NCAA handed them a really good game to kind of get back on track in the postseason, the Alabama State game or whatever. But look, they won. They got to win 2 out of 3 from St. John's, and if they do, they're back in the World Series for the first time since Jim Wells. So no matter what happens, those 2 teams represented the university the right way. They played for championships. Baseball's still alive, and they brought a lot of joy and excitement to us. So roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
So, Jake, let's break down some game tape.
Hold on, fellas. Steve.
Hey, Jake. You ready to rock?
Let's roll, brother.
Guess we're calling plays at Pearl River Resort. Wow, Jake's first throw scores. And Steve's got the crowd pumped. Man, they're absolutely rolling.
'Cause I don't have to be me till Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I ain't gonna face reality.
I tell you, Jake's still got game. While Steve keeps rocking aces. Boom, Jake seals it with a pick.
Come call your own plays
At Pearl River Resort. Let's roll.
I don't have to be me till Monday,